of the Equus Film and Arts Fest Mustang Summit. The panel is called BLM Mustangs, The Way Forward. And so we've had some interesting, to say the least, things going on the last couple of days. And now we have the people who are in charge and going to be leading the way forward here to explain to our Mustang-loving public what this means. So I'm going to quickly introduce Isidro and Amber Espinosa. We have Matt Zimmerman. We have Ann Sodders with Forever Branded. And we have Matt Monroe with Mustang Champions, who does the classic and the Mustang Challenge. So we're going to let Matt start it off. He'll do a little introduction, and then we'll go back to focusing on what the mission forward is, so that everyone can understand.
Mustang Champions is a newer nonprofit. We have an even newer nonprofit next door to me here. My name is Matt Monroe. I'm Executive Director of Mustang Champions. We are headquartered out of Texas, mostly Austin, Georgetown, Texas. We were given a grant about a year and a half, 2 years ago to do 2 programs. So thank you for your tax dollars, by the way. We have an education program of which we have 5 kiosks that involve information panels and a 360 VR headset experience where you can stand with wild horses. They literally come up to you. And the purpose of that education program is to help Americans understand that as taxpayers, we own horses. And we need to be engaged and have some understanding of our horses, what they need, how they're being managed, how many there are out there in the world, and what we can do to support them. How we can help the Wild Horse and Burro program get horses out of holding and through competitions or adoption events, help lessen the burden of the number of horses that are in holding. So that program, we sent our 5 kiosks to 32 events last year. So we are really hoping that the more we get that program out there, the more we can raise awareness and educate Americans about their horses, our horses. So that was the first program. The second program is that we were given monies to produce 2 new national Mustang competitions. A Western discipline competition and an English discipline competition. So our Western format discipline is a little different than some Mustang competitions in the past. Is at South Point Arena in Las Vegas. The English discipline competition, first of its kind, was at Rolex Stadium, Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington, Kentucky, this last September. What we're trying to do differently with both of these events are give a trainer and exhibitor as much time as possible to train with their Mustangs. We want to put Mustangs in premier venues to showcase just how great they are and how versatile they are when worked with for a period of time. We have raised prize money drastically. Our top prize is $50,000. We're trying to bring people in to work with a Mustang and compete with Mustangs that might not normally associate because they are more breed specific. So we're trying to bring some of the top talent in America to come compete with Mustangs. We are requiring people to take a test. We're trying to raise the quality of training. So we provide resources where you can go online. There are links to content. You can study that content. And then at some point, before you enter, you have to take a readiness test just to show us that you know training at a certain level. The other thing we also require is that you prove to us that you have shown your Mustang before coming to one of our competitions. We don't want first-time arena Mustangs. And there have been times with some of these shorter training period competitions that people really just haven't had enough time to get their Mustang out there in the world before they come to compete. So that was another change that we really wanted to make in order to showcase Mustangs at their highest level. So please come to the competitions. Please encourage a friend to adopt or purchase to compete. learn and improve and try to get even more horses adopted into these competitions.
Thanks, Matt. My name is Anna Souders. I'm with Forever Branded, and we are also a new foundation. And hopefully, my prayer for the future is that our training will end up going to you, Matt, because we are a more groundbreaking foundation. We have many of the new trainers that have never maybe adopted before or tried before, and we're out there trying to help also place all these horses that are in holding into private care, into good homes, and many of these people have not adopted before. So through Forever Branded and through our library of videos and through math skills and the skills of many of our more versed trainers, we're helping groom new trainers and new people that maybe have never done this before to become Mustang adopters, to get them to be successful and to place them into good homes. And through our competitions, which are called branded bonanzas, they can start there in hand and work up to the riding classes. So we're very proud of what we're doing, what we've started so far, and we're more on the groundbreaking side of everything. Also, we know that probably 99.9% of all the people we come in contact with will never adopt a wild horse. But we want you to. We want to bring them in and educate them, let them be part of it, let them sponsor one of our youth, or let them come to our programs, or be part of what we do, because their tax dollars pay for all these horses just like all of ours do. So we want to include them and have them be Forever Branded, just like we are. And all of us up here, we all know what it's like having a first touch on a wild horse. We've all experienced that. There's no words. It's amazing. And we've all got to see people's lives changed because of a wild horse. Oh, it just doesn't get better than that. It's pretty amazing. And so through Forever Branded, we're hoping to bring that out more and more to people and help. And I'm going to introduce you over here to Matt. Matt is our director over Equine, and him and his wife Stacy put on the branded bonanzas we have. And so we're looking forward. Our first event is over July 4th weekend in Napa, Idaho. We're also going to have an event in East Texas. And we're also working with the Extreme Cowboy Race Association with some of the trainers that will pick up Mustangs for that. And I'm going to let Matt tell you a little bit about that.
Okay, my name is Matt Zimmerman, and I'm basically in charge of the training and adoptions at our organization. And the whole purpose of this is to find long-term homes for these Mustangs. When I first got into Mustangs back in 2007, I was drug into it. The Western Horseman had an appetite. And so it's 100 days, 100 horses, throw yourself in. And so I thought, it's a good test to see if I have what it takes to train and compete with everybody else. And that's where Anne's talking about, I took a leap of faith and I just threw my hat right into the mix of the riding trainers. Back then, they didn't have these competitions where everybody competed in hand and then they worked their way from an in-hand competition to a riding competition and all that. So make a long story short, I ended up 10th place overall in Sacramento, which put me into the finals, and then I ended up 5th place overall. So when you do something to have success, it's like, let's try that again. And if you could find homes for these horses, after the event, and then just go do it again, because the one thing you can't really be financially as a collector, and you keep collecting all the animals that you train. So for me, some people can, and that's fine if you have the means to do it, but for me, it's fun to see an animal that I train go somewhere else and be successful with somebody else riding it. Somebody said to me one time, if you truly want to test yourself and become a trainer, you need to train an animal that someone else can ride. And so I look across, me and my wife have trained several of them, and we look all over the country. We have ones in Florida, Virginia, Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Nebraska, all the western states. So we've kind of got our horses kind of scattered out. So the beauty of our event and Forever Branded, this organization that we started, we're going to be trying to find branded partnerships where trainers can go pick up horses and then gentle them, teach them to lead, load, pick up, feed, tie, and get as gentle as they can. We've extended, normally it was like a 10-day window. We had to keep that in. We've extended that, and so we're trying to make it to the point where the branded partners, or the trainers per se, have a little more vested interest. We want them to create animals that are really gentle, so they don't fall back into the system and go back to the corrals. And then we have another system we're talking about where you can work more directly with the trainers, and it's kind of like a safe landing deal. Because basically these Mustangs are like foster kids. We're trying to find good homes and places for them to the point where it works out when we create good citizens, and these wild Mustangs are really good wherever they go, and they stay there. So that's the whole purpose and plan of that. Whether it's Matt's event where we train Mustangs and showcase them at a higher level, and then some of those trainers will find different homes for them afterwards, and then jump back in the boat and do it again. Because I think their event is funded for as a five-year contract. So year one just happened, so we got 4 more years of that event, and then ours is kind of just on just got the carpet rolled out, so we're just starting. So we'll just see. We're in the process of finishing our guidebook and a few other things, and so once we get all that squared away, all the literature is correct, then we will be rolling out, for the brand partnerships, which is going to be for with the trainers, and hopefully we can get as many of these animals that adopted out, and then we can start to see success stories along the way. And then we're going to have branded adoption centers to the point where we can ship horses to a location back east where they don't necessarily have too many BLM facilities. And so that will be where we can move more horses, and then branded partnerships and trainers, they can pick up horses there as well. And so it's going to be an interesting, fun journey. And I think if we have our blueprint kind of laid out and we do it right, and we kind of change and tweak some of the rules to the point where we can, we're looking more, we obviously want quantity, but we really want quality over quantity. We want to produce quality horses to the point where they don't fall through the cracks and go back. And so, we're taking some suggestions, and we've kind of thought through, and we've discussed it with each other, and trying to figure out the exact blueprint that's going to give us the success that we're actually needing. And, the other piece of the puzzle that I said, when I first got my very first Mustang, put it in a mount pen, it was a very hot horse, so I stepped in and it took off running, and basically for the first half an hour, it was running from me, I was running from it, there was no pressure being put on by me, because I'm like, this thing's crazy. And so there was no like literature, there was no videos at the time for me to go look at, so I had no knowledge. Basically all I was using was what I had growing up on the ranch that I learned from my dad and uncles, and I ended up eventually getting the job done. So I'm trying to figure out like a library system where people can go and actually see different trainers with different methods working their horse. A good example would be, like Zebra is a great example. What we can do is take and call them up and say, would it be possible to video you the very first session in a round pen, or in a pen, whatever you want to do, if you normally work with the horse. And then we're going to have procedures video, and I got a couple trainers say, can we do 5 videos? And you can do as many as you want. But I want to, your time is valuable too. But so we can do that. We'll see how Isidro starts his horses. We'll see how Albuquerque starts his horses. We'll see how Nate Iger starts his horses. We can see how different people just put in that database of that little library, so that they have access to all of these little files, so they don't have any excuse why their horse did not come back to the competition, or why their horse is not progressing. And granted, there's some horses that just don't fit the mold, and they would probably better in long-term mold. But at least if we give them that fair, honest shake, then giving people that knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the less pitfalls you have. Back in the day when I first started training, the horse would do something and I didn't know how to fix it, so I would get frustrated and didn't know how to. And as time went on, I learned from different people how to fix different issues and different problems. And then when horses now, they do something that's not really, conducive to my training, I just kind of laugh. I have an exercise for that. I learned that from Al Brennan, and I have an exercise that I learned from Tom Johnson, and I have a different exercise that I learned from Philip Wallace. And I could go right on down the line where I gain every little piece of my knowledge, and so I just want to give as much of it as I can out, and not everybody wants to necessarily follow my method. Some people love Isidro's method, some people love that. And it doesn't matter who you follow, as long as you have some success. Because really, a lot of the Mustangs that have been out there, they don't have the blueprint for success. So I joke around with my equine hospital there, and I said, the best way to kind of frighten them is say, I have a Mustang that needs to have some vet work. Well, is it gentle? Because most of the time you run across these, some people pick out Mustangs and they never really truly get it gentle. So that's the curve that we're trying to get over. Get these Mustangs gentle, because everybody loves to have horses gentle. But just imagine, there's a horse you can't catch or touch. And so we just got to give everybody the tools and exercises to make that successful. So, but anyway, so it's kind of a fun journey. We'll see, we have like the Brandon Bonanzas, our events, and kind of touched on a little bit. There are events that people are going to be picking up Mustangs. We're trying to give them a little more time, like 6 to 7 months, maybe more, where they can get their animals gentle and come back and compete for prizes, cash and awards and stuff like that. So, what we've done in the past, some of the competitors, when they picked their horse up that weekend, I would pass along the information as far as give them some education. I do a jump start clinic, which basically, let's jump start and get our hands on these horses quicker. Let's not take them home and let them sit for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. Let's get our hands on them as soon as we can, so we can create that bond, and the more time you're with them in that 6 months, they're going to look like $1 million when they show up at the Brandon Bonanza competition 6 months later. Instead of a horse coming into the pen, head in the air, snorting, blowing, and you've seen those kind of horses at competitions, and you're like, oh my gosh, watch that one. And I look back and I wish I had called to help that person, or I wish they would have called me, because I could give them different tools to alleviate these little pitfalls that they're kind of going through. So, but that's going to be the fun part. For me, the education piece, teaching the knowledge there, and then as we mentored several people to the point where at the end of the competition, they're standing there in the end with the blue ribbon and the buckle. And I think there's about 9 that we've mentored along the way. And it's one thing that if you can be successful and win, and I love to compete myself. You can be successful and win, that's great. But if you can mentor and teach somebody else and give them the tools, and then maybe the language and maybe the word, and then they have the success that they have, that's a pretty cool feeling, because we've given them the knowledge and the tools, and they've just kind of busted their hind end and got the job done. So that's kind of where I fall into the middle of the mix, and we're just going to do everything we can to the point where our organization and our events are very successful. And my wife and I have done something very similar for the last 8 years, and if you do something right, it grows. That's the way I look at it. In the first year we had 38 animals, the next year we had 44. We thought we were doing great. Then it jumped to 65, to 95, to 117, to 120, then the last year we did 170. And so, and I kind of base this also on, when I do a demonstration or a clinic setting, I will basically try to draw the crowd in. And if the crowd sits and stays, then I'm engaging and I'm doing something right. So we've done a couple of them. I was invited down to Texas, and there was 8 of us that we did basically a clinic setting. And I would sit and watch, and some of the clinicians would explain stuff, okay, I'm not so great or whatever. And I just watch the crowd. They'd get up, and then they'd sit there for a while, and we weren't connecting, so they would get up, and they would go off to see some vendors. And so when I did my demonstration, I just basically, we were desensitizing horses, so I engaged the crowd, and I basically had my daughters over there. I had hand up tennis balls with their name on them, and frisbees with them that had their name on them. And everybody that was on the outside in the crowd got a frisbee or a tennis ball. And we put a tarp out in the middle of the arena, put a hula hoop in the middle. So I'm riding my horse around, trying to get it to be not scared. And I told everybody at the count of 3, throw all of your tennis balls and frisbees in, and whoever can land closest to the middle of the hula hoop or in the hula hoop gets a free halter to lead. So I've engaged the people in the crowd, and so I don't know, it's kind of, at the end of that demonstration, there was like 400 people there still at the end, and then they kind of wanted to still sit and talk and figure out, problems with their horse later. But that's the thing. If I can take this kind of information and flood it over into our adoptions and our brand partners, and they've not really had anything but success. And so that, anyway, in a nutshell, that's our organization, and then I'm going to pass it off to Amber, and Amber and Cedro, and I'll let them kind of do their deal. All right, thank you guys for listening.
Hi, just to kind of introduce us a little bit in case anybody that doesn't know who we are. Isidro and I, we train together, husband and wife team, we train together out of Arizona currently. We started in California, and we adopted our first Mustang in 2009. I wanted to just see if I could do it. I've been training horses my whole life, and it was the most life-changing experience I've ever had. So I got fueled with this passion to help as many Mustangs as possible and help other people experience what I had experienced. I really struggled putting it into words, what that's like to gentle a Mustang. And very similar to Matt's story, I had no idea what I was doing. There was no material out there to learn from, unless I had found another Mustang trainer, and I learned a lot at that time. And so I made all the mistakes. Thankfully, I had a very forgiving horse, and he still stayed with me until he passed away a couple years ago. And so, based off of that, just over the years, we've gotten more and more involved with Mustangs. And as we progress through doing competitions, I've done Matt's competitions this last year, and they were very challenging, and I'm really excited about where he's going with that. We have found a big need, and some of those needs are there's not specific education out there online for Mustangs. There's a lot of stuff out there for horses in general, problem horses, but not really Mustang specific, that's comprehensive and easily accessible. So we've worked on building a video library specific to that. We have chronicled case studies of Mustangs from pickup through undersaddle, riding on the trail, going home. All different ages, varieties, temperaments. We have probably over, I think at least over 100 videos just in our one library that showcases our different training modalities. And our biggest thing is, Isidro and I are both trainers, but we train very differently. I'm not physically able to do the things that he's capable of, and so I have a different way of approaching training horses. And which one of them I'm going to demonstrate today. I like to use a lot of positive reinforcement, clicker training with my Mustangs, and so I'm going to show that today. But we try to bring as many different modalities and really open up people's minds, because with Mustangs, you don't know what you're going to get. You're going to get so many different breeds, so many different temperaments, so many different just personalities than you would in just a specific breed. And based off of that, I really think, kind of like what Matt was saying, that the more trainers and methods that you can get, the better you're going to be able to train Mustangs. Because something that works for Isidro, I physically can't do some of the stuff that he does. So if I just learn from him, I'm not going to be able to be successful. And so we found that need. Another need that we found is we need more Mustang trainers. It is really, really hard for young people to get started in the world in general, but in something as expensive as horses, it's almost nearly impossible. And so what we do is we take in what we find talented, hardworking trainers that are hungry, that really, really want to learn, and we take them in and we help them grow their business, learn to train Mustangs, and they can make money while they are, working in conjunction with us. One of our current trainers, she's going to be coming here this later today. So hopefully anybody will be willing to talk to her. Her name is Ashen. She's fantastic, and she's like just living her dream of being able to become a horse trainer. She wouldn't be able to do that on her own. But if we can get more and more young people to become trainers and grow their business to where they can be sustainable, that's more Mustangs getting trained. Another need that we have found is people come to us all the time wanting a really well-trained Mustang, that they can be average horse owner, that they can go hop on, they can let sit for a month, hop on, take on a trail ride, compete with, whatever. We have found that need. A lot of times what they do is they'll pick out a Mustang and then they'll send it to us for training. It usually isn't the horse for them. It'll be pretty and that's why they picked it out, or they don't know how to pick out maybe we have been able to do that through some of the things that we've done. We've done a competition like Matt's Bonanza. We've done that on our own. I have realized I really don't like putting those shows on, but I learned a lot, and I got to see thousands and thousands of Mustangs and sort through them. And so we have developed something that we call the Heart Mustang program. To go back to what I was saying, so pick out a Mustang, send it to a trainer, and want the trainer to put 90 days on that horse. A Mustang is not going to be domesticated and safe and ride along the trail in 90 days. That's not fair to a horse. Maybe if there's an advanced home that can do that, even the best-minded Mustangs, that's going to be a struggle. So our program that we created is, instead of a time frame, these horses have to meet a criterion before they leave our home. And they are going to be priced accordingly because we're putting like 10, 12 months starting on these horses. But we match them to people. They get to follow their horse through their journey. We match them pretty early on so they can follow the horse through the whole journey. They get education with that horse. They come and they'll spend a couple days and get lessons while the horse is in training. They can do clinics with us. And then since we know that horse so well, we can provide them with support afterward. Part of creating this sort of model of selling Mustangs and training Mustangs is why we want other trainers to adopt it. If we're able to pick out a really nice-minded Mustang that we know is begging to be domesticated, and it's going to go into a home, they're not going to change homes. We've been running this program for 2 years, not a single one of our Heart Mustangs has changed homes. Everybody loves them. We match them in the sense that that's their dream horse. They don't want that horse to go away. So if they ever run into living hiccups, which is inevitable with horses, they're going to stick through it and work through it with that horse. So that's one of the needs that we found, and we developed this program. It seems to be filling it. I want other trainers to adopt this program. Heart Mustangs are perfect for something like Matt's competition. We be like, hey, you're a great trainer. Pick out a nice Mustang, match it with an owner, right away, get that horse paid for so that you can make it to this big show and you guys go and do that together. So we currently have 2 horses picked out for his competition. One of them already is matched up as a Heart Mustang. The other one is available. And so we're hoping that more trainers will adopt that so they can do his show. They can these people can take home a fantastic, well-trained horse that's had the time put into it. And then we're not bankrupting trainers. That was a big problem for us on our end, is we'd go to like an Extreme Mustang makeover, we put 4 months into this horse, thousands of dollars, and they sold for $200. You can't, that's not feasible, it's not manageable, and then you're just praying that whoever bought that horse will take that horse and continue training it, because they are not going to be ready to go home to the average person after 4 months. And the average horse owner is who we want. Those are the homes that these Mustangs need. Because they're the ones that are going to love them and keep them forever and ever. So that we've developed that program. There are great programs out there like the veterans program or the prisoners program. A lot of those horses come out of those programs with a lot of holes in them because there's amateurs training them. It's a great program. It really helps the prisoners, but there's a hole there. So we have. I think we have one prison program horse right now that's in training with us to get restarted. We've done a lot of those. Like I said, the Extreme Mustang makeovers, the Extreme Mustang makeovers, can't say that fast. Same issue. They're promoting these horses are dead broke and they're not in that time frame. So doing what these guys are doing, where they're extending the training time, is fantastic. I think promoting horses being broke in 90 days, 100 days was not doing a service to any horse, much less Mustangs. And what they're doing is fantastic, and that's what we're doing too. Is like, you want a really nice horse, you need to put the time into it. And so if everyone's willing to kind of come together and make it mutually beneficial, these types of programs are going to work really well and provide more permanent homes for Mustangs because they're going to be well trained and have a great foundation. But so that's kind of who we are. I'm the talker. Cicero does a lot of the hard work. So he's probably not going to say much, but he's probably mortified if I hand him this microphone. Yeah, he's like, no, she can talk. But we really try to find each other's strong suits and kind of build a great program off of that. buy anything, we just work our butts off on our own. We have a very small sanctuary that's a nonprofit that we try to take in horses that have nowhere to go, Mustangs, or help people that just have nowhere to go, want to be trained, and they can't really go back to BLM. But that's kind of we have to do that on a small scale because we're self-funded. Those are our programs. We're on the training side. We want to train trainers to be Mustang trainers, and we want to provide education for people to have easy access to, so that they can train their horse at home, and courses that they can go through. Like we have a gentleman course that's going to start soon that they can watch and do and get coaching in order to be successful. So that's a little bit about us on our end, and so I'm going to pass it off to someone. Oh, sorry. Tell us. Okay. And say where we can find us. Well, we're online. You see the rest of the horsemanship stuff should pop up. But we're also on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and lots of YouTube videos, hundreds of YouTube videos, and Facebook.
So we are preparing for next year's competitions. There will be Mustang Classic. Will be next September, again at Rolex Stadium. Mustang Challenge will again be at South Point Arena, Las Vegas. The adoption and purchase window started October 1st, 2024. We have till April 15th, 2025. You have purchased or adopted within that window, that horse is eligible to compete. They'll get a Mustang. We will be announcing more details as of December 1st. So stay tuned.
And at Forever Branded, you can find us at foreverbranded.org, and we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we have our own website, and I want to thank everybody here today. We're just a small piece of the puzzle, but we all have pieces we're trying to put together. And all of these people are trying hard because we believe in this. We've all seen it, we've felt it, it's inside us. So thank all of you for what you're doing and what we're doing, and now we're turning it to you, because now you're the ones who can go out and help educate and tell people. Look for their Facebook page and look for their website and find out where to go to an event and meet trainers and know what to do and help this puzzle get all put together for a piece of our history. So if you need to know how to adopt a Mustang, come to any one of us, we can help you. Thank you so much.
Are you answering questions?
Yeah.
So, I'm with National Mustang Association Colorado. We've been assisting taking the Mesa Verde the horses that are removed from Mesa Verde National Park under a general agreement with the park. And it's very interesting working with the park. We have very limited options and we can help only so much. But my question is this: we're running into a lot of the issues that you've experienced when it comes to adequate training, adequate trainer training, training resources. We're continuing to pull in trainers for our network. And so if I were to try to raise funds to take one of the horses that we gather over to Sequel in Amber, what would you charge to get that horse ready, and how long would you take?
Is it on? Oh, she asked, they're gathering Mustangs in Mesa. Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado, right? And she's asking if she were to send us a horse to train. So my question would, how much would we charge? So we do have we're full-time trainers, so we have a monthly rate. And so like our monthly rate is $1,500, it includes full-time training and board. Our program for like our Heart Mustang is a different pricing, because they have to meet a criterion, so it's a set price that most people pay over time. So it's a little bit different. But as far as how long it would take, I don't know. Each horse is so specific and so different. I have a horse that's part of our sanctuary right now. He was 7 when I adopted him. He was supposed to be 7. He was actually 11. And he does not, we trained him probably about 14 months. And he just really let us know he does not want to be ridden, he does not want to have, anything to do with people, he really just wants to be left alone. And so his job now is he has a little herd of yearling and 2-year-olds that he bosses around. So, but that's he's part of that sanctuary because he really let us know and we put a ton of effort into it. So there are horses that are like that, and then there are other horses that are just begging to be gentle, and we're riding them. Within 30 days, we're riding them, doing all kinds of stuff. So it really depends on the horse, and I strongly believe that I can't stress enough that there are so many Mustangs that want to be domesticated, that love this life, and then there are those that don't, and so many people will try to force it and be like, if we give them enough time, if we do, and they're trying to force it, and they spend all these resources, which time, money, all of that, on these horses that don't want it. And I really would like people to shift from that and put the time into those that do.
But
So,
That makes sense.
there really is a network of trainers across the United States. All of us know people that know people. It could probably help if someone really wanted a Mustang, don't know how to gentle them, and work with them initially. There is a network out there that can help someone who wants that opportunity to have a Mustang.
Wonderful. I need your
Can
business.
I ask a question while you have the mic, or you
Sure.
and Ann have the mic? Will either one of your organizations, probably Ann's, but more, maybe both, work on a database or something very similar to what Horses for Mental Health has, where you have a statewide, people can click through to a trainer in their state? I mean, that was supposed to be there years ago.
So I am aware of a gal that is trying to do that, and I think that all these organizations should get with her. It's called Mustang Extensions. She's already online,
But see,
and it's a database.
that's what I'm talking about, Amber. This is the disconnect of the problem.
Right.
Because that's Mustang Extension, that's this, that's that. These two people right now, their organizations are who everyone will be focused on. They are kind of like the overseers. And so instead of, maybe that links to there. I mean, that's what I'm getting. I get all the calls, I get the questions. Why isn't there? We're working on that with Horses for Mental Health now, with veterans programs and what have you, to try to have, okay, you're a veteran, you're in need, it's Horses for Mental Health, it's not one of their organizations, it's Horses for Mental Health, click here. Because people know that, they're gonna know Forever Brandon, they're gonna know Mustang Champion.
That's exactly right, because there's too many little pieces.
Too many little tiny pieces and
Like,
parts.
when I think of the term, like, let's say, we just talked for a second ago, dream horse, right? So everybody knows that there's dream horse, so you can click on dream horse, and then you can go shopping, and you want black, you want red, you want tall, you want short, you want whatever. It's like that dating site for to go find your perfect partner. So Amanda Mills we're potentially talked about it, we're gonna work on that, like, of the horses that are Mustangs that are trained and they're available, and
Right,
it's
the
gonna be
right
so.
horse, the right horse.
The right horse. And there'll be pictures, there'll be videos. That's what the whole process, we're trying to get it to the point where it eliminates the kind of gray
Right,
area
but
where you
again,
don't know
it
where to
needs to
look.
be the two focus.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
we're not gonna know, I mean, Equus, I would have a link.
It has to be
Find a
right.
horse, it goes right to there and it goes down.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we do with the right horse or like we do with Horses for Mental Health. That is what is coming to me, that people need to find exactly what she
Right.
has. Where do I find the trainer?
Exactly. It's like when you try to match up horses, Amber kind of touched on it briefly, that horse isn't going to match that person, right?
Right.
So it's like this person likes to go fast and he needs a push. He needs something athletic in that way. Another person wants something that's kind of slower and dull, like a big Mack truck, it's a big tall. So you just have to learn how to match the right horse up with the right person and then the right discipline for what you want to do. There's no sense of getting a little pony and trying to go win the Kentucky Derby. And so that's what we're going to, we're in the process of trying to put all that together and then marketing it right to the point where everybody knows it's out there.
Right.
So go ahead.
So kind of what my point was with yours is that somebody's already saw the need and is trying to do it.
Right.
And maybe they need to
But
get
that's where because they have good funding, has been able to create exactly that. They won't touch Mustangs unless it's a Mustang that's already into the system, the rest of you might have too hot hand. But, so the right horse has very big funding behind it. They have the Watershed Animal Foundation.
It's a program under the ASPCA,
Yes.
just to let you know.
So they have where anybody can go in the country. There's an overload of trail horses available at the end of the summer. You're on the East Coast, you want some trail horses, they're available in Colorado. They help set up the transport and everything. But now people know that the righthorse.org is where you go. And then you work out from there. You might find a breeder, you might find a barn, you might find that. What is needed is a name where everybody knows these are the two organizations that BLM basically has said, this is what you're taking it over. And I know Mustang Heritage Foundation is still going in there, and I'm hoping everything shakes out and gets going good again. And that they can create that, but people know Mustang Heritage Foundation. So it's important that there's not 16 places to go. There's maybe 2 or 3 places to go, and they can interleave, and they can, because it's all of the Mustang trainers are working with both organizations, or all 3 organizations, or all 4 organizations.
Right.
You know, so there has to be, that's what we have to help people find and figure out. I mean, that's like, to me, from what we hear and what we get, and that's why we're doing our education program, is because people are looking for that.
Well, there's a crisis with Mustangs right now. We have over 73,000 in wild. They're gathering right now in Nevada. We have over 55,000 in Wolfing. And that's really what we're trying to do, is help get those horses placed into homes. All of us working together for this cause. That's what it takes. And you too, all of us. So when you have questions and you don't know, get online, find us. We'll do everything we can to help you. I might have to call Matt or Amber or somebody and say, hey, somebody's looking for so-and-so. Do you know a trainer in this facility or out of this place that can help this person right now with a Mustang? Is we want you to be successful. That just helps get more Mustangs adopted into homes. And the better the people set trainers up to help the Mustangs, the more will get adopted out into homes.
The good news for you is there's plenty of demand. People want Mustangs.
Yeah, the East Coast.
Absolutely.
And these are also not BLM land, BLM.
No, because you have Forest Service and you have reservation Mustangs.
So
And
the
then they
horses
all,
that you're talking about are
They're in the National Park Service, or, they're in National Park Service land. We also have another group that is in another national park area. And so there are about 200 horses there. We like to remove those horses from that area. And so we'd like to assist. And what we agree to do with Mesa Verde National Park is we'll take title to those horses they remove. And so we'll place them either to adopters after training, after gentling and then training. And it's just the basics, not under saddle at this point. And if they're not, or they'll go to sanctuary. So the process that we're looking at it is, what is the least disruptive thing we can do for the horse? And so it's kind of like taking the least worst option. So, it's already been decided that they're not allowed to live in a home range. And so that's disruptive to them. Well, how can we give them the less disruptive option next? So the next one is sanctuary. If they can be in familiar territory with their band, then that's wonderful. It's not always possible because there is a lack of sanctuary space. And so it's wonderful that you have a sanctuary. We'd love to have it in our little corner. We're in the Four Corners area, so we've got 4 states, we've got several reservation boundaries, and so we've got a lot of in our local area, it's nicer to take a horse to a trainer who's just down the road, not too far. That helps reduce our costs.
Are you familiar with the alpine herd and the rounding up the alpine herd in northern Arizona?
No.
So we helped with that, and one of the big issues that, because it was fresh gather, they actually did it privately, where they hired a contractor and they auctioned them off. And so people didn't have like facilities for them, so we got quite a few of them that were bought by people. And the biggest issue I had with that we could see with them that is different than BLM horses is they didn't have any decompress time. They needed some time to just decompress, gain some weight, not be messed with,
Right.
before they started getting trained, which is typically what BLM does.
Well, and that's actually what, we had an equine ecologist help us make that distinction. So this idea of habituation. So what we encourage the park to do is do this habituation gathering through bait trapping. So that helps, that's a less stressful process than too much, than chasing. And so, when they're gathered that way, they need less of the decompression. That's not to say they don't need it, but the next step is interim holding, that kind of habituate, get familiar with feeding routines, people being around, things like that. Then, when they're in a more trainable state of mind, then we can get them into training. And the ideal is, it depends on how much time the horse needs. It's not our timeline. It's whatever they need. Well, and the costs go up. And so we're a nonprofit. So we're thinking, okay, what can we afford? So we've been able to assist 38 horses now. We've got 2 in process right now. They're 6-year-old studs. They went through a Mustang challenge this year, and they weren't handled much. So that was my introduction to wild horse. My first one was the horse step on my foot. So, yeah, and so that was a good lesson. I'm learning it. And so we're going to be training them at home. We've got to castrate. We got to do the habituation and then the moving training. And so we're learning. And I feel like we're moving in the same steps that all of you are. The idea of having a repository of training videos is wonderful. So I'd like to share some information with you because we want to develop some of our own training.
The other thing too is truly is like hands-on.
Yes.
Because like when we do our jumpstart clinic, I take like 10 people at a time, and I have like 5 grandkids, and I explain everything in detail, why, how, what we're looking for. And at the end of that weekend, literally, these horses are literally ready for like a challenge. Because they lead, they load, they pick up feet, they tie, and like everybody loves the decompression and all that stuff. And I'm a little on the different side of it. I'm a more pressure situation. Like it says, when I was a kid, my dad put up me in a pressure situation. We was raised on a large ranch in Nevada, and he would send us out. He goes, I need you to go halfway across the valley, and then once you get halfway across the valley, I need you to take a zoom off every cow you see, and then you head that direction, and I'll meet you at noon, 5 miles or 6 miles out.
Yeah.
And I was 6, 7 years old, and I'm like, okay, that's just what we do. Now, if we ask some of our kids in this day and age to do that, and that's why, like,
Yeah.
the Jumpstart Clinic is a pressure situation, but, it's a pressure release, and then once you get your hands on them, we turn into some of the best massage therapists you've ever ran across. And these horses just absolutely love it, and, so we can critique each method one way or the other, but at the end of the day, I always judge it, is your horse respectful? Does your horse do what you want, when you want, how you want? And so that's why I like the Jumpstart Clinic. At the end of the weekend, I sit there and I'm tired because I've been working all bouncing from round to round to the round pen. But all these people are able to handle these horses, and now they got the next 90 or 100 or 6 months to go really polished up. And I tell them, when you run into a hurdle, pick up the phone, call me, and we'll fix it. And I'll give you the next exercise. Because a good example is my daughter. I said,
starting to be free. And I've said many times, I could take my Mustangs right now out to Salt Wells and Divide Basin, that's where they're from, and let them go. And they might take off and run and toot and fart around and stuff. Come 6 o'clock, they're looking for me. And they're telling me about it because they're ready to eat. They're ready to go home.
Want to shelter.
Yes. So, nobody has ever paid money for me to bring my boys back home to live at the house because it split up the family when they moved out. I see that every day on Facebook. People spending money to bring herds back together in the sanctuary. We need these horses adopted into good homes and be useful. They're great. I mean, through Matt's competitions, you've seen them do Western and roping and everything. Clear through do hunter jumper, dressage, everything. And all of us have seen this. So they're versatile, they're good, and I love what Amber said. They're wanting to be domesticated.
Remember, you also train trainers? Okay, so, yeah, I'd like to see what we can do. Yeah. So I'm.
Yeah, enough for you to meet the one that.
You all should have seen the Mustang.
You should, she's coming.
The classic in Lexington, Kentucky, which was one of the most amazing things to see these horses in an English setting where they excel because it's been so much of a Western focus, and the demand for these horses is on the East Coast. If they're hands down, the demand is East. Like every load that can go out there finds a home because they're the perfect pony. I think they need to be rebranded as the American Sport Pony. This is, you watch it after horse after horse after horse.
There are a lot of them that did both competitions.
Yes, exactly,
And did
yeah.
them both well.
So versatile and this is the American Sport Pony. We need to embrace these horses and promote them. And this is what these people are here and
What time are
doing.
you doing your horse today?
1:30.
1:30? And then at 4:30, Matt's doing his horse trump.
Yeah.
So,
The one that I brought is he's a forestry, and I competed at him at the Extreme Mustang Makeover in Tennessee in June. And he hasn't even been gathered a full year. That's
Right.
one that I brought, and
I saw horses do things at that event, at Matt's event, that the National Dressage Championship was also going on at Kentucky Horse Park. And people would come down to watch because the horses at Matt's event those dressage horses can't go out and ride a dressage test, and your Pat was there too, and then go out and jump into a plastic tarp and jump out and go
they certainly got a lot of
take
attention.
somebody long reining on a surfboard across the arena after they've done an event. So these are the American sport ponies.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to change the subject, but I'll forget. Other than having like a friend that's involved in the, Mustang, gently, if someone, I'm just asking just to see, you guys maybe already answered it, but what if someone was interested in adopting a Mustang, but they're not a trainer, they don't want to be a trainer, but they want to be a part of the process. They want to work with the horse with the trainer. They want to build that connection, that bond or whatever, through responsible partnering of the person and the horse, obviously. But is that something that's out there that anybody, one of you guys do or not? Or like, let's say me, for example. Let's say I want to do it, but I don't want to just get a horse that's ready, right? Like, I want to be a part of that process from the very beginning all the way to when I'm finally bringing the horse.
And see, I think that's a very good question, because back in the day, everything was 90 to 100 days. So we were just crunching it off. And so as time progressed, Matt's competition, we picked up in October, so we went all the way from October till July.
There were several horses in both competitions and there were partnerships, just for that.
I'm talking more like an intimate level though, where so financially you're able to actually, I don't know, park a camper down the road and be there every day.
That's what we do for trainers, and if we have somebody that wants to do that on a personal level, it's like a one-on-one, absolutely, if they can come and pay their own bills and just want to move their horse, you know what I mean, then absolutely, I mean, that's something that's totally doable.
Basically training
Yeah,
the person
You're training the
while
Put
training.
them up some stalls while
Yes.
you're here, sure,
That's
that's
good.
great.
But also not even what Matt said, for our competitions, another thing you could do is have someone trained to a certain point, and you take it on as a green horse, and you compete with your horse. So you don't have to be a trainer to exhibit that horse. So that's another way to kind of partner to get a horse that's a well-trained.
But finally, we're getting to the point where people are actually wanting to spend more money and time with these Mustangs. You know, like for your situation,